I've been obsessed with the Meghan Markle phenomenon, and I have consumed a lot of content about Meghan Markle. I've seen it all. People that, kind of like straight up hate her, does not like it, dislikes her, have all of these crazy theories about this woman. And it was always very kind of like surprising, or it was it always kind of puzzled me. Why did she has these type of reactions with people? What is it? And anyways, through all this content that I've consumed about her, I was not able to really pinpoint what was it until very recently that I saw a video on YouTube where this woman was laying out what was that thing that is wrong with her. And long story short, because this is not about Meghan Markle, is the hypocrisy that this woman pushes so bluntly through the world, right? So we kind of like got introduced into her world and her thinking with that interview that where she's with the interview with Oprah, I think it is, Oprah. And in that interview, she is presenting herself as a victim. So her role is always as this victim. But then she has a platform and she has a way to conduct through life where she does not portray herself as a victim, but as someone that has certain type of power. And so if you have some certain type of power, so then you're not a victim. And that's where the brain brings in this cognitive dissonance and triggers all of these reactions. And you can see, right? Like you can see it all over. People are they just have these opinions, very strong opinions about Meghan Markle. And it's obviously because the narrative that she, it's not obvious because it took me a while to understand this, but the narrative that she puts out there doesn't match with the reality of her actions or her own reality. And now I want to translate that into the full situation with Trump and her discourse, his discourse, and what happened with Thomas Massie. And I think we're seeing here in real time, or we saw in real time, one of these situations where there was something off. And beyond Thomas Massie and, like your opinion about him or his role or whatever the situation he has attached to his name, the truth is that he was kind of someone that purposely or not purposely unveiled this hypocrisy from the MAGA movement. Why is this a hypocrisy? Because it's evident that they have an agenda that doesn't match with their narrative, with their discourse. So the discourse is American first, and the agenda is not American first. It's actually not American first. I mean, I'm gonna be, this is my opinion. Obviously, everyone has its own opinion. I have very close friends that do not think like me, but by all means, I'm not a liberal, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not even a Republican. I'm a libertarian, and as a libertarian, I can see the holes in the narrative. And why does this upset me so much? Regardless of the hypocrisy itself, which is something that bothers me, obviously, because there is dishonesty at the end of the day. It's a dishonest take. It kind of like also bothers me because in a way I feel isolated. There is no room for someone like me. And I know there is room out there online. There's other people that fortunately kind of like somehow, we hover towards each other and like we have very similar kind of thinking. But this makes us a minority. And I do think, I am very, very sure that in a couple of decades from now, minorities are going to be defined differently. And so a minority will not be defined by race or by color or by cultural background, especially in America, because whatever happened after the 70s, the truth is that this country is very, very mixed, and it has been permeated through decades with different cultures. So it is probable that minorities now will start getting defined by cosmovisions, by like ways of thinking or ways of interpreting reality, and not even interpreting reality, but ways of transcending to what is more truthful. I am not sure that as humans we are ever be able to see truth. Maybe that's something more divine. It's always going to be tinted with our humanity. We can't avoid that. But I do think that there are a few of us, and again, I'm not trying to be super, like feel superior or anything like that, but I think there are a couple of us that at least excavate a little bit more about the truth, and it doesn't get hung on these narratives that have so many holes in it. And in a way we can kind of like, supersede that narrative and see the hypocrisy behind that and identify it. And if we don't, as I said, like if we don't identify it as like literally a label, at least we react to it. We have that kind of like gut reaction to it. But yeah, that's kind of like, I had all of these themes mixed together, and then I realized that everything was coming to this base layer of hypocrisy, and how, kind of like being able to sense that and detect that, and somehow, identify it, will make us a minority for the years to come. Well, that's my take. We'll see how that minority now relates to AI. That's another chapter in this thinking process. But let me know what you think about it. I would love to know your thoughts on what happened or how you felt about all of these saga between Thomas Massie and the MAGA movement. My name is Magdalene. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I am doing these videos so I can learn how to articulate better, because I think too fast. And I appreciate your time, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.